Hello, everybody. This is Dave. I didn't know I was on there. Hi, this is Dave here at Dave TV, DCRTV.com. As you can see, it is. Let's see. Let me focus on there. It is 11:58 on Sunday, the 22nd. We've just gotten word that CBS is going to launch its new all-newser, WNEW, any moment now, about noon on Sunday. They were supposed to originally launch the station on Thursday, a couple days ago, but because of some engineering snafus, they, hold on, I got to make sure these wires are all connected here. I don't want it pulling loose. And they're supposed to launch on Thursday, but because of some engineering snafus, it got pushed off. The official launch date was supposed to be 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, Monday morning. So now we're hearing, no, it's going to launch today, Sunday at noon. So as you can see there, it's kind of hard to see the 99.1. The radio's kind of invisible. But anyhow, we're on 99.1 here. And we've got a ticking sound that's been going on since about 11:30 when they pulled the plug on the Bee Gees segment of History of Rock and Roll, which has been running ever since the Christmas tunes stopped playing just after Christmas. So we're waiting here. It's about a minute to go. This is actually kind of good because they're supposed to launch tomorrow at 5 a.m. And hell, if I'm getting up at 5 a.m. to record the launch for you guys. No way, Jose. So noon Sunday is definitely preferable. So let's just see what happens here. We've got less than a minute to go. My clock there on Windows 7 says 11:59. So let's see if noon brings about.
All news, all the time. This is 99.1 WNEW, Washington's News Radio.
30 degrees. We have mostly cloudy skies in Washington. It is noon on Sunday, the 22nd day of January. I'm Cheryl Simone. Here's what's happening. A legend of college football passes. We're mourning the loss of former Penn State coach Joe Paterno. We'll have team coverage throughout the afternoon. A 3-alarm fire destroys an apartment complex in Laurel, leaving several families homeless today. Newt Gingrich pulls a win in the South Carolina primary, an upset over the early frontrunner. And after some debate, development and zoning plans for the waterfront in Virginia are in place. In weather, clouds tonight. We've got warmer temperatures coming for the start of your work week, though. In business, members of the Federal Reserve are getting ready to talk monetary policy in the coming week. And in sports, some big games today. The Baltimore Ravens take on the New England Patriots, the Wizards versus the Celtics later, and the Washington Capitals against the Penguins. WNEW News Time 12:01. First, traffic and weather every 10 minutes on the ones. And here is Joe Conway in the Ted Britt Ford Traffic Center.
And we'll start you off on the Capitol Beltway on the inner loop. The work zone is between Route 1 and the Greenbelt Metro in Maryland. The work zone taking away the right-hand travel lane. Stay to the far left to get by. Otherwise, we're doing well on 95 in Maryland. The 270 stretch between Frederick and the Beltway was moving at speed. No reports of any problems along the ICC. Baltimore-Washington Parkway was quiet both ways, and no reports of any problems along Route 50. The John Hanson Highway between Bowie and the Beltway. You should find things moving smoothly at last report. Moving into Virginia, we're traveling north on 95 out of Fredericksburg. The crash was after Route 1 Spotsylvania on the right shoulder. Travel lanes should be open. You stay to the left to get by. Expect a bit of a delay as you make your way toward the Rappahannock River and heading into Stafford County. HOV lanes farther north ahead of you are running northbound for both 95 and 395. 66, the Dulles Toll Road, the Dulles Greenway, moving at speed at last report as well. The George Washington Parkway, quiet both ways. No reports of any problems between downtown D.C. and the Capitol Beltway. In the district, the freeway was moving well both ways between the 14th Street Bridge and the Sousa Bridge. Next traffic at 12:11 on All News 99.1.
WNEW weather right now, 30 degrees, cloudy on the National Mall. We're headed up to a high of 36. For tonight, a little rain, some fog, the low 35 degrees. For tomorrow, a thunderstorm greeting us to start the work week, the high 52. Tomorrow night's low 43 degrees. For tomorrow night, we have winds blowing west at 7 miles per hour, so it will be breezy out there. Sun and patchy clouds on Tuesday, the high 55 degrees. Repeating the current temperature, 30 degrees. We are cloudy. We're headed up to a high of 36. Weather updated every 4 minutes around the clock on All News 99.1. WNEW News Time, 12:03.
Breaking news now on WNEW.
A big hit to the world of sports. Joe Paterno is dead. The 85-year-old legendary football coach died this morning after a long battle with lung cancer. His death leaving Happy Valley with enormous sadness.
I've lived here my whole life.
All right, folks, so there you got it. The first few minutes of WNEW, the new CBS All Newser. Pulls a surprise launch there at noon on Sunday. So we don't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow to hear the launch, which is great. I'm glad. Thank you for doing that. Okay, folks, well, it'll be interesting to see what the station does in terms of ratings on 99.1 Signal. And, obviously they're going after WTOP. So be interesting to see how that all works out. A lot of former WTOPers are now working at WNEW. Also be interesting to see how the station plays out in the Baltimore market because it will have an excellent signal to much of Baltimore. And, will it, kick WBAL radio in the butt. All right, folks, that's it. Big news today. CBS pulls an early launch. It's kind of an late early launch, right? It's supposed to launch on Thursday. Then they change it to Monday. Now it launches on Sunday at noon. Sunday at noon. DC now has 2 all-news radio stations, WTOP 103.5 and the new WNEW at 99.1. This is going to be fun. Have a good one, and so there.